I just realized I forgot to turn the epic music off for y'all. That's my bad. If you're watching this on YouTube, you have no idea what I'm talking about, but you should definitely come hang out with us when we do these things live over on Twitch. There'll be a lower third or something down there that'll tell you how to hang out with us on Twitch. There you go. There you go. I've done my due diligence. What's up, y'all? Let's talk about books. And do you like my fairy lights? I still have to fix them. I just have them in places right now. I need to, like, that's a little bright in that section right there, so I have to fix it. Anyway, this is the book. Can I see it? Okay, that we're gonna talk about right now. Aliens Phalanx. I'm pretty sure that's how you say that. Flax unit. Pretty sure how you say that. And this is pretty much aliens versus motherfuckers with spears and shields. Okay, let me, if this is your first time in a book reviews with Crystal videos space, hello, I'm Crystal. I'm a science fiction author. I write science fiction books. I love this shit. I love geeking out and talking about books. It's my jam. Also, things to remember about me, the first half of this, or a couple minutes, however long I deem, it'll be spoiler free, just to give you guys kind of an overview of the novel and what I think of it and whether or not you should read it, or I think you should fucking read it. Make your own decisions. Just fucking read books, y'all. Books are great. Fucking read them. I say fuck a lot, so if you're like around kids and stuff, too late, make sure you got headphones on, all that good stuff. Also, I don't do names. I am terrible. I am so terrible with names, so I literally forgot the main character's name. I was sitting here on break. I'm like, oh shit, I need to what is her name? But anyway, so there will be a lot of times when I will be referring to people in these books and not know their names. That does not reflect on the author or the way that this character has been written. It is just the way my brain works. My brain thinks your name is immaterial, so it just forgets it. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I don't know what you want me to tell you. But anyway, all right. So this is, I don't know if this is canon. But this is definitely written, Scott, the guy who wrote this book, he's written other alien books before, that were really good. I have read other books in the alien universe that I have very much enjoyed. In fact, I have not read an alien book that I have not enjoyed as of yet, and I enjoyed all of them a lot more than that stupid ass second Prometheus movie or the Alien movie that I'm not going to talk about, which was Alien 4, that just doesn't fucking exist at all. But anyway, Aliens Phalanx does a really good job of bringing you back into the alien mythos and the alien universe. It's common alien themes that you will see here. There's nothing really special or unique or different about the aliens. It's the aliens that you know and love. It's the face huggers that you know and love. It's that queen, that bitch that you know and love. It's just, what if people who didn't have motherfucking machine guns and assault rifles and grenades had to deal with aliens? So I don't want to spoil stuff, but that's kind of the gist of it. This doesn't take place on Earth. It takes place on a different planet sphere of existence. The people of the world, I thought, were really well. Some of them were really well written. That is so hard to say. Really well written. You gotta really fucking enunciate your words there. The main character is Aaliyah, and I think that's how you pronounce her name, so we're just gonna go with it. She is what you would call a runner. So in this medieval world that you find yourself in Aliens, there are different forts around this countryside. There's an ocean. There's some northerners that when the aliens first came, they got in their boats and they sailed away and fuck off. LOL. All you people who are stuck on this land, sucks to be y'all. And nobody who was left on this land knew how to build boats. And now that the aliens are here, you can't go to the shore to build the boats yourself. So you're just fucked, which was kind of cool. And then she, the main character is a runner, and her job is to basically go from like her fort to other forts and trade and, exchange letters and information and this, that, and the other. And it's a dangerous fucking job because aliens, yo, and they mostly come out at night. Mostly. So they've come up with, I thought, really ingenious ways to try to hide from aliens. So it's a hella dangerous job, and runners are trained, and And it's one of those where, you know how everything, like, in medieval times, like, people do shit, like, stupidly young. So you got, like, little 15-year-olds who are out here doing this because, I mean, it's gotta be, right? You gotta be young and fucking fast to be able to be a runner in case, you know, shit goes down with the aliens. So they did a really good job of, he does a really good job of setting you into this world. I liked her character a lot. She's part of a trio, so it's Aaliyah, Crean, and Brandom is kind of her crew. And Crean's a little shit, and he's super smart. And Brandom is a warrior type dude who kind of wants to be a hero, but is kind of dumb. He's kind of like all brawn and like no brain type, but he's not like stupid. He's a little smart, but Crean makes fun of him a lot because Crean's like super smart, but couldn't pick up a fucking rock, and Brandon's like the opposite. So it's a very fun dynamic between them. Those three characters are very well written. Again, that fucking phrase. Aaliyah's love interest, you can take it or leave it. He's kind of just there, I guess, to show that she gets booty, which is great. Good for her, get booty. You don't get a good like sense of him, but you don't really like care about him. At least I didn't like at all. Like if she didn't have him, it would have been fine. Like because he was like felt like such like an afterthought. She might as well have just had a booty call. That when she came back from running, doing her dangerous shit, she got a piece of ass and then dipped back and did her fucking dangerous running shit. Like he was just kind of there. It was like whatever. So inside of each fort where people live. And apparently in this land, like, there'd been a king before, and he built, like, shit inside these mountains, so that's pretty much where people live. They all live, underground now. So they're able to hide from the aliens. There are different creatures on this different planet. Freaky little diggy-type creatures that burrow themselves into, like, holes and shit like that, so that's kind of cool. They're, each keep that she has to run to, they're different names for them, like Lemeth and the Dale something or whatever. They all have different types of culture. So like, for example, where Aaliyah lives, it's misogynistic as fuck, basically, and he doesn't make bones about it. Like, it 100% is misogynistic as fuck. Like, she's respected because she's a runner, but men are still like the best and fucking go, fucking just because you got a penis. She really wants to be a warrior, but she can't because she's not quite strong enough to hold a shield, and because she's a woman. Her particular, where she lives, her particular like fort, is ruled by like a council, and it's kind of what you would expect. Like, there's no real mystery there. Like, everybody on the council is fucking ignorant and asshole-ish, and the guy who runs it, like the whatever you want, he's got some term. He's not, I think he warden or minister or magistrate or something like that. Whatever the fuck they call him, the guy in charge. He's very charismatic and nice or whatever, but he's what you would expect. Like, his family has been in charge forever, and there's voting, but his family is the one that always wins the vote. That shit. So it's like he comes across as nice, and then you learn very quickly that he's about what you expect. He's really just a fucking asshole who just wants to have power and shit like that. And there's a lot of humans doing what humans do. Like, humans are dumb. So even though there's this big fucking threat on the land of these fucking aliens, humans are still like doing dumb human shit against each other. That shit was pretty typical. But what I really enjoyed about the book was, keeping it spoiler free, was just having the aliens in a different setting and seeing how people who didn't have the kind of quote unquote advantages of modern weaponry and technology really were going to fare against a fucking alien. And no spoilers, but I like the way it's done. It's not over the top. It's not unrealistic. It's not, you get to the end of this book and kind of what happens and everything that goes down, and I felt very like satisfied with it. I was like, yeah, that I could fucking see that. Like, that all makes sense. That definitely all makes sense. I'm really looking forward to a novel where human beings do not act as dumb as we always seem to act. I don't know if I'll ever read a book where where that just doesn't happen. Because I swear to God, there's always those people that are trying to, like, there's some shit, maybe we should pay attention to this. There's always that motherfucker that's like, no, We should not. So I'm waiting for the day when you actually listen to the person that tells you not to break quarantine. I don't know if this is ever gonna happen. Yeah, but he does a good job of doing all the world building at the beginning and really, putting you right into aliens, and you have that people who love aliens and love that, the universe and the mythos of the Xenomorph are gonna enjoy the shit out of this. And then, he does all the world building, and then you get into the problems and the root of it, and then the shit that goes bad and how they kind of resolve it or don't resolve it. So it's all, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I liked it so much that when we got to the end of it, I wanted to read a little bit more. I wanted to learn more about these people and kind of see how they dealt with the information that they were given at the end of the book. What else can I say without spoiling? I would give this like 4 demon goats, like 4.5 demon goats. 4.5 demon goats on this one. So if you are a fan of the aliens mythos and you want to read about aliens, how in like a medieval setting, absolutely fucking read this. Yeah. Read this shit. It's great. It's great. You will be just as pissed off at the humans as you will with the aliens, but that's kind of to be expected. It's fast-paced, which I love. I love fast-paced novels. It's got great action. Like I said, the love interest was take or leave it, but that's not why you're reading this book anyway. The 3 main characters were great and well-written. You kind of, I really loved Aaliyah, but then, like, her 2 companions, I think they are written in such a way that I feel like you're supposed to maybe have mixed feelings about them at different points in the book. And it works. It's definitely like, those are my friends, but fuck, sometimes my friends are fucking annoying type feelings towards Crean and Brandon. So that worked out really well. When you got to meet the other leaders of the different forts or whatever, like there's one fort where there's actually a woman in charge and she does things differently. And there's a lot of like cultural suspicion and ignorance, between like, well, they're a bunch of heathens. They don't worship fucking our whatever and blah, 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 blah. It's all that bullshit. So yeah, it sets things up really, really well. So at least when the end happens, you care about what happens to the people one way or another. And whether that is, oh, I just want to see them all fucking die, or I hope they actually defeat the aliens because it's just fun, or I hope the fucking alien mother just fucking puts the alien baby in all of them and the book just ends with the aliens taking over this planet. Like you will feel a certain way, whatever that way is in this book, no matter like if you're rooting for human or alien. I think you'll be really satisfied. So yeah, read it. If you are keeping the spoiler free real quick, if you are a fan, definitely get it. Get it. I feel like even if like you want to dip your toe into an alien novel, I feel like this would be a good one to do. I feel like this would be a good one to read. Like maybe you've seen Alien or Aliens, and you wanna jump more into this universe. I think this one would be fun. It's a fun read, and it's a fairly thick book, but it goes fast. It does not drag at all. He does a really good job with pace and descriptions, and setting tone and fear and that sort of thing. Scott Siegler? Yeah, he did a really good job writing this. So absolutely, highly recommend. Get it. So now we're gonna do spoilers. I don't have too much to spoil about this. I really enjoyed the end battle a lot. And I have a hilarious thing where when people who had been fighting then finally come together in like a big group and then fight against like an impossible enemy, it makes me cry. Like every time I watch like that scene in like Avengers Endgame where they're like on your left and they all come out to like fight or whatever. I know for like comic book geeks that's like an amazing but I don't read fucking comics. To me, I cry on that scene just because like I do all the time when like if you have been like infighting and then this impossible force has been like just beating the shit out of you and then you finally come together and like stand up for yourself and are ready to like fuck you, I'm a fuck you up or die trying, that shit makes me cry. So I'm laying in bed. My wife and I were having a wonderful, like, lazy morning where we just had coffee in bed and shit, and I just busted out my book and I was reading it, and I'm sitting there and I looked over her and I'm like, I'm gonna cry. Because we got to that point in the book where they started that shit, and I was like, it's so beautiful, you guys are gonna die, but it's so great because you're gonna die together.
I just have a lot of feelings.
So it's awesome because Aaliyah actually gets a moment to shine in this, which is great. I mean, because you kind of roll your eyes when you get into this fucking misogynistic society. It's like, oh, whatever. But it's not like it's not done. What's the word I want to look? Let's just say that Aaliyah gets her time to shine. Like, it's like the author, like, knows that this is a stupid ass misogynistic society, but of course there's gonna be one in this dumbass world, right? There just is. And you find out kind of why that is later on in the book, and we'll get to that in a second. But she does, like, she'd been learning tactics, like war tactics, from this one guy who lived in the colony, who was pretty much kind of thrusted into the bowels of it. Because look, if you're back in the day and you're fighting aliens with like a sword, or a spear rather, and a shield, so think Spartans, right? Think Spartan Greece, like some 300 shit, right? And alien blood gets on you and you live, you look fucked up, right? So this poor guy, he'd been like a general in like a war, and right back before when the aliens first landed and all the kingdoms lived above ground, he had led like 5,000 fucking troops into war against the aliens, and at what you happened, like they just fucked him up. So he was all fucked up. And people are like assholes, right? So as soon as he came back, you know, like, it's not like he's been taken care of. Like, everybody in these little colony, like in this particular colony that she lives in, like, you have to work. If you do not work or do your job, you will be either thrown in jail or killed. Like, if you're a runner and you don't want to run anymore, too fucking bad. Too fucking bad. Like, they don't care. Like, everybody, like, you have to do, like, I think you have to do 10 runs. And then if you live after that, then you can do something else. But you have to do 10. And if some point, like, you're fucked up because you're on a run with 3 people and 2 of your friends die, and now you got some fucking PTSD, oh well. But it's like that shit up, because if you don't run, you're gonna fucking die. Like, too bad, so sorry, it's fucked up. It's fucked up, right? But anyway, so there's one guy, like, he'd been fucked up from war, and he was just like, whatever, you still gotta work. So they put him down in, like, the lower depths of, like, this fucking cavern that they all live in, and he's just been learn how to make twine with, like, his feet and his hand, or the one hand that he had left or whatever. And people were always mean to him because he looked so fucked up, instead of, like, revering him for fighting some fucking aliens. But, you know, go off. But Aaliyah, she always liked him. And she'd been learning, like, war tactics from him for, like all her life, because she wanted to fight. Like, she didn't want to be a fucking runner. Like, she wanted to fight. She wasn't, like, when she was done being a runner, she was either going to keep being a runner because she was really good at it, or they were going to fucking, like, upgrade their thinking and let her be a fucking warrior. That was, you know, there was either or there. So when the time comes for her to, like, shine and be like, yo, we got to get these aliens, here's how he's going to do it, like, her knowledge is, like, indisposable. So she, like, becomes a general, and some shit happens, and it's awesome. People who know that, like, in the alien mythos, how, like, aliens tend to take on the form of the thing that they hatch into, which that is present in this book, because everybody, all the different colonies lived in these underground, like, cities, like on some dwarven shit, right? But there were these creatures that lived on land that were diggers. You see where this is going, right? So when some of the first holds started falling, it's because the aliens found out where they lived, just by, aliens are smart as shit, right? They followed some runnels up to kind of where the area was. And then these creatures that got turned into aliens just dug their way through. Well, which is terrifying. Fucking terrifying. But there's, like, this awesome scene where they attack I think it's called Lemeth, where she lives. And she's like, she put the Flax in the proper formation to be able to fight the aliens. There were, like, some 300 tactics, and it was like, she told them all to form a circle. So when the aliens swarmed and kind of spread out around you, you had like, you know, a couple shields deep on the top, you know, whatever, to keep them from, like, jumping in. So, and her tactics worked. So they were able to kind of go in, and go through. More than that, though, Crean, the little smart dude, found out that there was this particular leaf that was native to their world, that was abundant as fuck, that counteracted the acid. In a good way, in that, so if it sprayed on you and you put these leaves on, it it didn't burn anymore. I mean, you still had the damage, but it stopped the burning. If you made this into a liquid and you coated it on an arrow or a knife and you shot an alien or stabbed an alien with it, it fucked them up from the inside. Very smart. Love that. So basically, it neutralized the acid, and if you're made of fucking acid, that's your blood, and you know it's fucked up. So that's how they ended up fighting back against the aliens with this. The problem with it was it's slow. So even Kreen was saying, like, it got to the point where, I mean, the aliens were attacking. So it was like, it's fight or die at this point. Like, they know where you guys live. They're burrowing into under the surface. Nobody can make boats. Y'all can't leave. So y'all either gonna fight or y'all gonna fucking die. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about this, right? And so they're, getting as many troops as they can possibly get together. And it's fucked up because Aaliyah had been trying to tell people from, like, Jump Street, they're like, yo, I'm seeing them more in the daytime. I'm telling you, they're tracking us. Let me do this. We need to be more like, she's like fucking Ripley. And like the first one, Ripley, like, maybe we shouldn't let the motherfucker with the alien on his face on the ship. And somebody, some dude was like, do as I say. And she's like, but maybe we should, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of happened like that, where Leah's like, maybe you should listen to me. And, some man was like, no. Guess how it turned out? He did. Yeah, he did his shit. Anyway, so because that, like, nobody listened to her when she was trying to tell them, hey, we got a weapon now. Maybe we can do some shit. Maybe we should get, like, let all the other fucking holds know. And we should start, like, making a plan. Nobody listened. So by the time, they're ready to fight, a lot of people are dead because a lot of holds fell because nobody listened when bitches be like, yo, maybe we should fight back. Whatever. Anyway, so she didn't have, like, the force she needed. And there were some other holds that were farther away that did lend troops. But the moral of the story is that when Kreen is trying to, the little smart dude is trying to, like, make the goo, the potion, whatever you want to call it, that neutralizes the acid, when you're making it, like, on the fly, like, on the run, like, even he was telling her, like, there's no way for him to have any control over how potent it is. Yes, it works, but he's not in a lab, so he's not using precise measurements, this, that, and the other. So while it does kill the aliens, the problem that they run into is it killed them slower. So you shoot an alien with it, or you stab an alien with it, but it could still fight. It's going to eventually die. It's like when you got a cockroach in your house and you spray that bitch with Raid and it's still running, and you still spraying it with Raid and it's still fucking running, and then you a half can deep in the fucking Raid and then it finally dies. It's like that. But the roach doesn't attack you, thank God. But in this instance, the aliens are still attacking you. So they go, the queen's like, she loves heat, right? It's always hot as fuck where the queen is. So there was this whole fucking mountain that was basically, like, full of lava and fucking heated geysers and shit like that, where she had made her home, and they're like, we're gonna go march on this motherfucker, right? So Aaliyah's got whatever troops that she can fucking muster, and then there are troops from, like, the other colonies that are coming too, and one of them is awesome because they're like the bowers, right? That's what they're specialized for. They got really long fucking spears, but they can pew pew pew. They can do that pew pew shit all day. Like, they're fast as fuck on their bows, right? So they all get to where they're fucking going. She's passing out the goo. She's like, rub it on your fucking self, rub it on your weapons or whatever. And then she's trying to tell this bitch, she's like, yo, look, when you do this and you got your troops in formation, you got to do the circle thing. And she's like, LOL, don't tell me what to do. Well, Lee's like, okay, but listen, you got to do the circle thing. Otherwise, they're going to break through your ranks and you're going to fucking die, right? And she's like, whatever, don't tell me what to do. Anyway, before they could continue arguing, aliens are like, I'm not gonna let y'all just talk. Here we come, right? So they fight. So this big, epic fucking battle. So Aaliyah's troops are listening to her, thank God, and they've got their circle and they're fighting for their fucking lives. But there's just a lot of fucking aliens. Because you know what happens with the aliens, yo. The queen's in the mountain laying eggs, and every time they kill somebody, they snatch them too. So aliens have been taking, like, hundreds of thousands of people and just making more fucking aliens. So there's a lot of fucking aliens. And so at first, the people that had come with them, like the new groups that with the pew pew motherfuckers, like, they were doing good, right? They were like, man, trying to fuck up the stream. Yeah, they were doing good. But then they didn't listen to her. And they used, like, tactics that would have worked if they were fighting a human, not an alien. Instead of having a circle, they did an L shape, which doesn't work with an alien, because the alien's just gonna fucking run around it. Like, these aren't humans. So they all fucking die. And then it comes to the point where, like, Aaliyah's troops are just overwhelmed. Like, the tactics are working. It's just if There was another group of soldiers, like 1,000 of them, that were on the way, but they hadn't gotten there yet. So it was just like, oh, it's like heartbreaking. Like, even like she's getting fucked up and dragged away by alien, and it's just like, oh shit, like that's fuck. If they had maybe like 5 more minutes and maybe like 500 more people, they would have won, but they ain't win because there was just too many aliens, and it just took them a longer time to die. So the awesome thing, because we get like to the end, right? You get into the fucking mountain and you see there is what's up, Edward? You missed the interview, and you are in the middle of me spoiling the shit out of this book. So if you do not want spoilers, you might want to mute yourself for about the next 10 minutes before we start gaming. But happy to have you here. So they get into Black Smoke Mountain, and you see that she doesn't have any reference for what she's seeing, but Scott does a really good job of describing that there's a fucking spaceship in this mountain, which makes sense. So it wasn't that the aliens were just kind of native to this planet. Fucking spaceship, right? Also awesome, and the most disgusting thing that I have ever read in a fucking book, Kreen being smart as they're being dragged into this mountain by the fucking aliens. Oh, you're not a big alien? Got it. Yeah, so Kreen being all smart, being dragged into this mountain by the aliens, like is yelling out to, Aaliyah and Brandon to eat the leaves, the same leaves that he was making the potion or the goo to neutralize the acid. He's like, eat them. So they're smart, right? Because they got them on their fucking like armor and shit. So they eat a couple of them. Now y'all know how the chest busters work, right? That fucking little spider bitch hugs your face, is great, implants an egg into you that comes out your chest. Because Aaliyah, Kreen, and Brandon had eaten these leaves, the alien couldn't form. So instead of coming out of their chest, their body expelled it out of their mouth. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever read in my life. It was Can you imagine? Can you imagine that pain of feeling this fucking thing that's supposed to come out of your chest? I mean, it's great that I'm really happy that the thing isn't bursting out of my chest and fucking killing me. That's awesome. But I think I would be fucked up for life that I just vomited up a fucking alien. Like that. And her poor friend Kreen, like his gets stuck in his fucking mouth. And so he's like choking on it. And she gotta go. Oh God, it was... Y'all. Oh, it was terrible. It was so fucked up. It was so fucked up. It was so fucked up. I was like, oh my God. No, I can put it on this side. I want to make sure I wasn't blocking chat. It was so fucked up. But it was awesome. It was awesome. Anyway, so they go and they find like the fucking queen alien and all that shit. And they also find an android, which would make sense because there's got to be an android in an alien novel. Like, and I was a little, like, I understood, but I was like a little upset at how like easy or how quick they were to just make this android go die for them. I mean, he does, because that's what like the androids are supposed to do. Like, their job is to protect humans. And to, at least not fucking Ash, but bishops. The bishops are supposed to protect humans. That's... I know, it's fucked up, Edward. The bishops are supposed to protect humans. So the three of them, like Kreen, Brandon, and fucking Aaliyah, find the AI. He kind of explains to them that like there was a colony ship, basically, and it crash landed, and like all their last names were names of passengers on the ship. Apparently they had an alien on board. It's the usual fucking alien story, right? So the humans fought because fucking humans, and they crash landed on the planet. And the AI basically got all the kids together and told them to run away and just stay away from the mountain. Like, that's all he told them. He used words. And for some reason, they had like wiped a lot of his memory, so he doesn't know like a lot about like Earth or other planets or anything. They just kind of gave him like base knowledge. I don't know why they wiped his memory. They don't tell us. But he was only able to get like the kids some like base information and told them to get the fuck out. He'd been ordered to stay with the ship, so he couldn't go with them. So that's kind of how the whole planet got populated, and why they started with very medieval kind of basic knowledge. And it made sense about how all the colonies had formed, this, that, and the other, why they formed the way they did, because it was based like 180 kids that just ran away from this mountain and then formed the civilization that existed on this planet. is the long and short of it. But so when they meet him, he gives them all this intel, and then they pretty much just sent him to die to help them kill this fucking alien. And that upset me like a little bit, because I was like, damn, like he's like super nice and bandages up their wounds and tells them everything that he needs, that like he could tell them, and he's got like a wealth of knowledge in his head, and they literally just send him out, and they're like, okay, yep, now we got a plan, go die for it. And he's like, okay, because he's the fucking AI. He dies. The queen fucks his ass up. He gets fucked up. So I was a little mad. They killed the AI so like carelessly, I guess. I mean, I can understand why, because I mean, I can't say that I wouldn't have, to be completely honest. It's just I'm in the safety of my home reading this, and I'm like, oh, it's a little fucked up. But if I was in that mountain and the alien queen was like one room over, I'd probably send the AI to die for me too. But I felt a little bad for him. I did. I felt a little bad for the AI. I felt a little bad. I felt a little bad for him. But they do eventually win in the end. It's pretty badass. Brandon gets his hero moment where he actually stabs the queen with some shit, which is awesome. And then of course at the very end is when the final 1,000 troops roll up and fucking help them out and free people or whatever. And it had a good ending. I unfortunately they killed the only person who probably could have told them anything about the spaceship. So Crean, the smart one, is left like learning how to make like iron and, you know, upgrade farming equipment and shit like that. So it's a whole world on this planet that's going to evolve the way humanity has evolved, basically. And maybe Weyland Yunani will find them at some point and send another alien down there, because Weyland Yunani are assholes, and that's just how they fucking roll. But yeah, it was good. Her boyfriend gets fucked up, like, and you don't care, or I didn't care, because he's not and I kind of hate that. I feel like if you're not going to give a character kind of space and time for me to care about them, then just don't put them in. Like, I don't know what the purpose was of giving Elias someone to love and then eventually decide that she wanted to marry and have a baby with. I mean, she still gets to be general, but she's like a general with a baby. It was almost like she couldn't just have been single. Which, I mean, it reeks of like a little bit of like a little bit of misogyny, like a little bit. Like, I don't understand why the author thought that she had to fall in love and eventually decide that she wanted to have a child and a family. Like, I don't know why she needed that revelation. I'm clueless. Like, her whole character arc is kind of, she is this person who is trying to get out of this box that her colony has put her in, and then she finally gets her moments to shine and does, and grows up to. So I don't know why she needed to be a general with a fucking baby. That's kind of annoying, especially because you don't care about her boyfriend at all. Like, I couldn't. Like, he's just. He's I don't know. You see him for maybe like 5 pages, maybe. Like, he's so utterly insignificant to the story that she might as well have just had a booty call. Like, you don't feel bad when you find out he gets fucked up. Like, he could have fucking died. I'd have been like, oh well, fuck that guy. Like, whatever. Like, I don't like. So it was just like, what? Yeah. So, yeah, Weyland Yunani, yeah, 100% assholes. Always. In all the books, they're always assholes. Can't wait till they fucking just die. I want to read a book where the aliens fuck up the whole Weyland Yunani Corporation. Can't wait for it. So, yeah, so authors, my thing to you would be, stop writing in romantic interests just to give a woman one. We don't need them. Not required. We can just have booty calls. That's okay. We don't need to be romantically tied to someone in a novel. It's not, especially if you're not going to flesh that relationship out, it's literally a waste. It's an absolute waste and a little insulting and definitely fucking annoying. Like, big annoying. Like, she didn't need it. She could have just been standing there on that hill commanding her troops all by her fucking self with her friends. She didn't need a little stupid ass baby. A stupid ass fucking little boyfriend that did nobody care about. We didn't need all that. Did nobody need that. Whatever. But anyway, other than that, it's a great book. other than that, it is awesome. So like I said before, in the non-spoiler part, get it. Get it. If you want to read about some aliens fighting motherfuckers with swords and shields, it's like 300 versus aliens, but there's no badass Leonidas. There's a Leo who is badass in her own right. So there you go. Get that shit. Get this shit. Do it. Do it. All right. If you are watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. You are the best. Do all the things. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Leave me a comment. I'm also a science fiction author, so go and check that out. crystalsimagination.com. My books, the Sunarchy universe, all that good shit you will find on my website. Everybody who's hanging out with me on Twitch, stick around. I'll be back in like 10 minutes, and we're going to do some gaming. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. The apology letter you'll never read, for you've lost your sight because of me. Wow. How do you...